Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. जयो राधा वल्लभ राधा वल्लभ श्री राधे। जयो जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जयो सुभद्रा। जयो गौरानिताय 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 जयो गौरानिताय। प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद Prabhupada, Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtottara Shata Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind Ki Jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's discussion of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We are reading from 8th canto, chapter 22, titled as Bali Maharaja Surrenders His Life. And we are reading from verse number 22. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Kritsnatanena datta bhor Lokah karma jitaschaye Niveditam cha sarvasvam Atma viklavaya dhiya Kritsnatanena datta bhor Loka karmarjitaschaye Niveditam cha sarvasvam Atma viklavaya dhiya Kritsnatenena datta bhor Loka karmarjitaschaye Niveditam cha sarvasvam Atma viklavaya dhiya. Prabhuji's. niveditam cha sarvasvam atma viklavaya dhiya Krishna tanena datta bhur Mataji. Viklavayadhiyam. Kritsnaha, all, te unto, anena, by Bali Maharaja, dattaha, have been given or returned, bhulokaha, all land and all planets, karma arjitaha, cha, whatever he achieved by his pious activities, yea, all of which, niveditam cha, have been offered to you, sarvasvam, everything he possessed, atma, even his body, aviklavaya, without hesitation, dhiya, by such intelligence. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bali Maharaja had already offered everything to your Lordship. Without hesitation, he has offered his land, the planets, and whatever else he earned by his pious activities, including even his own body. We'll read the next verse, which has a purport. Yat padayor ashatadhi shalilam pradaya durvankurairapi vidhaya satim saparyam apyuttamam gatimasau bhajate trilokim dashvan aviklava manah kathamarthim richet. Translation: by offering even water, newly grown grass, or flower buds at your lotus feet, those who maintain no mental duplicity can achieve the most exalted position within the spiritual world. This Bali Maharaja, without duplicity, has now offered everything in the three worlds. How can then he deserve to suffer from arrest? Purport: in the Bhagavad Gita 9.26, it is stated, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktya upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind that if an unsophisticated person with devotion and without duplicity offers at the lotus feet of the Lord a little water, a flower, a fruit, or a leaf, the Lord accepts it. Then the devotee is promoted to Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. Brahma drew the Lord's attention to this subject and requested that he release Bali Maharaja, who was suffering being bound by the ropes of Varuna and who had already given everything, including the three worlds and whatever he possessed. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guro Shri Yuta padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishna Vamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yam pravrajantam anupeta peta krityam dvaipayana viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo bhinedu stham sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. Hare Krishna. So, we are continuing the pastime of Vamanadeva and Bali Maharaja. And Maharaj has been explaining so nicely over the past few days about this beautiful pastime and the lessons we can derive out of this, the pastime that is mentioned in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is just not any other literature. Puranam idam amalam. In the Bhāgavatam itself, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. The reason that Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is glorified by the Vaishnavas is because its unique pedagogy, the way it teaches us, it is our dearmost friend at times when we need help actually. And it is a guide, it is a teacher, it is a friend, it fulfills so many of the gaps that we often never find in this material universe. And this Bhāgavatam becomes accessible when Srila Prabhupada writes his purports. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. Just as we cannot reach a fruit which is very high up in the air of a tree, then the acharyas drag the fruit down to us so that we can reach the fruit. Nigama kalpataror. Kalpataror galitam. Galitam means a fruit that has been dropped. And that fruit we have obtained. Although we do not have the qualifications to either understand the Sanskrit or the deeper connotations of the verses, it is Srila Prabhupada's purports by which we can actually comprehend what is written in the scripture. So in this context, what has happened, Bali Maharaj has been arrested. Despite he giving off everything, he has been arrested. And actually it's a very humiliating scene for an emperor, for a king who has conquered the three worlds. He's not an emperor or a president or prime minister of a state or a country. He's not a prime minister or a king of a universe, he's of a planet, but the three planetary systems, Bhur, Bhuva and Suvaha, he's conquered the three worlds and now he's given all of them to Krishna, to Vamanadeva, through Trivikrama, and yet he is being humiliated by being arrested, by being bound by ropes. It's very humiliating for a king actually, in front of his own subjects to be humiliated like that. So right then, Brahmaji has entered. So this verse we read today, yesterday was, 22nd was Brahmaji's verse, and then today he continues, Krishna tenena datta bhur lokah karmarjitaschaye niveditum cha sarvasvam atma viklavayadhya. Brahmaji is saying, Niveditam. Niveditam means Naivedyam, means he's offered. What has he offered? Whatever he has earned, Lokah karma arjitas chaye. He has earned due to his pious activities so many things, like the 3 worlds, and he's offered it to you. Niveditam, just sarvasvam. He's offered everything, and even his body, Atma. Atma means the body. See, Atma has many meanings. Atma from an external perspective is the body. Atma means the mind, Atma means the intelligence, Atma means the soul. Atma also actually means the Supreme Lord. That's why he's a Parama Atma. So here, in this context, even his body, or he's offered himself, he himself has offered himself without hesitation, aviklavaya, without hesitation, dhiya, by his intelligence. So Brahmaji is saying, he's offered everything, and my dear Lord, yat padayor ashatha dhi salilam pradaya. In the next verse he continues, you have said that even by offering a little water at your lotus feet, ashatha dhi. It's interesting, in the previous verse and then this verse, a predominating quality Brahma is mentioning about is aviklavaya, ashatha dhihi, and then Durvankurair api vidhaya satim saparyam api uttamam gatim asau bhajate trilokim dashvan aviklava manaha. So it is aviklavaya dhiya, aviklavaya manaha, and ashatha dhi. All these 3 actually mean without duplicity. So Brahmaji is repeatedly saying he is being non-duplicitous. And he's given you everything without being non-duplicitous. It's a very interesting quality that in the 26 qualities that Bhagavad Gita lists, that Krishna speaks in the 13th chapter, one of the qualities is without being duplicitous. Duplicitous means not having this cheating mentality. And Brahmaji is continuing that by even offering a little water, newly grown grass, and flower buds, which is Durva Ankurair, Ankura means buds, Vidhaya, one by offering to the lotus feet without duplicity, can achieve Vaikuntha. And here, this person has offered not little water, not a flower bud, not a little grass, but all of the waters in the whole 3 worlds. Whatever rivers is encompassed in the 3 worlds, he's offered it to you. Not one flower, not a flower, but all the trees that have grown in this three worlds, he's offered it to you. And he's offered all the flowers to you. And this is the result he's getting, that he's been punished. So it is now another Brahma Vimohana Leela taking place. Brahma is bewildered now. I can't understand your activity, my dear Lord. How then can he deserve to suffer from arrest? Brahmaji, Prabhupada quotes in the purport, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktya upahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. So Prabhupada also quotes this verse. But before we go ahead into that verse, did Bali Maharaj not offer it with bhakti to the Lord? He's offered the 3 worlds, he's offered himself. Has he not offered it with bhakti? He has. He's been duplicitous, is it not? Then we have to understand, even Brahmaji is getting a doubt. Why is he being punished? Why is he being bound by ropes like this and being humiliated like this? Why is Bali Maharaj going through this ordeal? For that, we have to go back to the verses that we studied a previous month in the 20th chapter. Very similar thing has happened where Bali, he's come and asked for the 3 steps. Interestingly, in the Vamana Purana, there is an episode which is very nicely described, which explains of why Bali is being pushed to this ordeal, although he's given up everything to the Lord, and why the Lord is doing what he is doing, because it's very difficult to understand the Lord's activities. So in the Vamana Purana, what happens, there is an instance where after Bali has won all the 3 lokas, the 3 worlds, automatically, while he's doing some yagna, he feels a little bit depressed. Sometimes you feel you're not in your best of the moods. So he feels like that, and it's interesting that he sees this mood is percolated throughout his kingdom, through all his subjects, all his daityas. The demon associates are all feeling like this. Then of course they go and inquire from his grandfather. Who is the grandfather of Bali? Prahlad Maharaj. They go and inquire from Prahlad Maharaj, and they humbly request, my dear Tata, why is this happening that some bad omens are coming out? We are feeling nishakta. We are feeling that we don't have any strength. Sometimes we feel this, that we are depressed, we don't want to do anything, and something dull has come upon us. Although everything is going on fine, suddenly you see this mood swings. In modern terminology, it's called mood swings. But in the Vedic parlance, it is also said that there are certain ill omens or certain happenings in our life that happen which we cannot predict. It is just not something related to our body and the mind. It is something beyond our control. So they go and present it to Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlada was a dear devotee of the Lord. So he starts meditating. He says, okay, if that is the thing, because Prahlada is the grandfather of the Daitya king, the demon king. So of course he wishes he's a benefactor of his Daitya family. Of course, Prahlada also is a Daitya. So he closes his eyes and goes into Samadhi and tries to understand what the reason is. Maharaj was mentioning about this a few days ago, about Warren Buffett. Sometimes they switch off. They go to a quiet place and they meditate, and then they come to realize and come and take big decisions. So switching off is also a very important aspect. But Prahlad Maharaj is not switching off, he actually switched on. Switched on means switching on to your inner consciousness. Switching off from the external engagements and switching off from the outside world and switching on inside. So he switched on and he went into Samadhi to actually see what's happening. There, he saw a beautiful vision, which is another form of a universal form of the Lord. He actually saw that the Lord had taken his appearance inside the womb of who? Aditi. And then he could see that Vasudeva has taken birth. Then he comes out of his Samadhi and he says, Na yasya rudraha nacha padmayonihi Nendro na suyendu marichi mishraha jananti daityadipate savasudevam kalaya avatirnaha. He tells, na yasya rudraha nacha padmayonihi. Rudra, who is Rudra? Lord Shiva. Padmayonihi, who is Padmayoni? One who is born out of the Padma, the lotus? Lord Brahmaji. Na yasya rudraha nacha padmayonihi na indro na surya Indu means the moon. Marichi Mishraha. All the sages, all of these, Jananti Daityadipatehe. Even you, who is the Daityadipate, who is the demon king, will never know that Vasudeva, Sa Vasudevam Kalaya Avatirnaha. That Vasudeva has appeared, my dear Daityadipate. My dear grandson, Vasudeva has appeared. The reason for your depression is because of his appearance. So he has appeared. So Prahlad Maharaj says this. In fact, Prabhupada writes in the 8th canto, in the next chapter, in the 29th verse, Nate Vishnor Jayamano Najato Mahimna Param Anantam Apa. This is a verse from the Rig Veda. Prabhupada quotes this in the beginning. In the Rig Veda, Vashishta Muni says, Nate Vishnohar Jayamanaha. Jayamanaha means his activities. Nobody can predict what Vishnu or the Lord will do. Nobody, because the Lord is Ananta. He is unlimited. So how can someone say, this is what he's going to do? You can't predict what the Lord does. And who cannot predict? Na yasya rudraha nacha padmayonihi. Not even Rudradeva, not Brahmaji. They can predict. Na Surya, na Indro, na Marichi, not the Soma, who is the Indu, who is the moon god. Nobody can predict. How can you predict Daityapatehe? Because he has appeared. Because I could see it from my Samadhi, from my vision, I could envision it. And then, when he goes like this, Prahlad, usually Vaishnavas, you cannot stop Vaishnavas from glorifying the Lord because they are advocates of the Lord. So they start glorifying, they can't stop themselves. Then he starts glorifying, Yamaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti. This verse that he says in the Padma Purana, this is the same line that repeats in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yamaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti. Then Vishanti Yatraiva Vidhuti Papaha Yasmin Pravishtana Puranarbhavanti Tam Vasudevam Pranamami Cha Adyam. So he's continuing his vision. He says, Yam aksharam veda vido vidanti. That akshara purusha. What is akshara? What is aksharam? Dvavimao purushau loke ksharakshara evacha. There are two types of living entities in this world. Kshara, akshara. Who is kshara? Kshara means one who falls down. They have a tendency to fall down. That is living entities. Basically, any living entity around us are called Akshara Purushas. Akshara Purusha means the infallible. But Akshara has many meanings actually. Akshara has many meanings. One of the meanings of Akshara is infallible. Aksharam also means, a literal translation, if you go Sanskrit to English dictionary, Aksharam means alphabet. Alphabet. Om ekaksharam Brahma. Krishna says. Akshara means a letter. Akshara means the letters, the alphabets. Akshara means the alphabets in the Sanskrit language. There are about 51 alphabets or 52 alphabets in the Sanskrit language. They're also called Aksharam because these alphabets try to explain that Akshara Purusha, therefore they get the name Aksharam. That is one meaning of Aksharam. That's why they're called Akshar. Aksharabhyasam we say. And then other meaning of Aksharam is Akshara. Aksha means the senses. And Ra means Ramanti, one who actually enables the senses to enjoy what it wants to enjoy in the form of Hrishikesha is Akshara. So, Yad Aksharam Veda Vido Vidanti. This Akshara Purusha who is Vasudeva has arrived. Who is this Vasudeva? Vishanti Yatraiva Vidhuti Papaha. One who has envisioned, one who gets into loving devotion with him. Vishanti Yatraiva Vidhunoti Papaha. He will destroy all the sins, yasmin pravishta napunar bhavanti. Once when you enter into his devotion, you will never take birth again. Such a Lord has now appeared, is what Prahlad Maharaj continues to say. But right then when Prahlad Maharaj is in ecstasy, this is where the problem happens. The problem happens when Bali intervenes Prahlad Maharaj Samadhi. What does Bali say? Koyam Hare Nama Yatro no Bhayam Agatam Santime Shata Sodaityaha Vasudeva Bala Adhikaha. He says, Koyam Hare Nama. Who is this Hari? Because Bali at that time has not realized the completeness of the Supreme Lord. Why? Because that his knowledge and intelligence has been shrouded by pride, because he's won the three worlds now. With that pride, he says, who is this Hari? Koyam Harer Namaha. And he says, Yato na bhayam agatam. Don't worry, Prahlad Maharaj. Don't worry, my grandfather. Who is this Hari? Why? Because Santime Sataso Daityaha. I have thousands and thousands of soldiers. I have a lot of strength. Why are you worrying of one Hari? We can defeat him. Vasudeva Bala Adhikaha. I have more strength than Vasudeva. I can defeat him. This was the turning point when he actually enrages Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlada, this indicates, because many times this is a reminiscent of what we do. Sometimes in this material world, when things go on very nicely in this material world, there is a tendency by the jiva, by the humans, to become very proud of our achievements. And when we become proud of our achievements, naturally our original knowledge that we are a servant of the Lord, Jivera Swarupa Hoye, Krishna Nityadas, is shrouded, is covered. And then when that covers, Janasya Lokoyam, Mohoyam Janasya Aham Mameti. We feel that everything, I am the reason for everything. I have done it. I have achieved it. My material opulence, my strengths, my capacities, it's all ordained to me. That me thing, is what destroys us. And it is what destroyed Bali. Then what happens? Prahlad, in response to that, gets angered and he actually curses Bali Maharaj. A curse comes out of Prahlad Maharaj. He says, Vinasham upaya santi daitya te chapi danavaha. He says, Vinasham. This pride, Bali, will destroy you. Vinasham upaya santi daitya te chapi danavaha. This will destroy everything that you have attained, Bali. Now if you tie back the relationship of what's happening to Bali, this is the curse which Prahlad Maharaj pronounced. Vinasham, everything will be destroyed. What you are being so proud of, that strength you are claiming that you have so much big army will be destroyed. And it is not the problem and mistake of your soldiers, Because Daitya Danavaha, they have such a stupid king who is actually enthusing all your soldiers to be killed by the Lord. So you are not fit to be a king because you will lose everything. And because of you, all your subjects will suffer. And this pride will eventually destroy you. So this is the curse that Prahlad Maharaj spells out. But when the curse spells out, Bali immediately recognizes it. And he falls to the feet of Prahlad Maharaj and says, please, excuse me, why did you curse me? You're my grandfather. How can you curse your own grandson? And then Prahlada says, I do not know why the curse came out. It is also because of the ordainment of the Lord. So therefore, this curse should bring you good fortune. So the Lord will eventually protect you. And then he blesses Bali Maharaj. So he's cursed and he's blessed Bali Maharaj. Now the Lord wants to fulfill that curse in one sense because it's coming out from his devotee's mouth. So therefore the Lord is punishing him. And the punishment you will see from the next verses when Maharaj will speak about it tomorrow, that actually it turns out to be a blessing. Just as Bali was not feeling pain at all when he was being bound. Although the wife of Bali and Brahmaji was feeling it, it was as if, this example we give, how a cat catches its kitten, its little one, it's in the mouth of the cat, but we feel probably it's killing the kitten, but the kitten feels very safe. So when Bali was bound by the ropes of Varuna, he was actually feeling safe because now he's completely surrendered to the Lord. So there was no sense of humiliation that he was feeling. So he was feeling protection from the Lord. So it depends on perspective. So Bali is feeling protected, whereas Brahmaji is feeling that he's being humiliated. So therefore, now we know why Bali Maharaj has been punished like that. Now coming back to the purport that Prabhupada writes, Prabhupada quotes this verse from 9.26, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. This is a very interesting verse, and most of the devotees, when they come to Krishna consciousness, we learn this verse. Patram, and all are singular, one leaf. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. It's not Phalani, it's not plural, it's one fruit, one leaf, a little bit of water. This verse is very interesting because this verse repeats another time somewhere else. Where is it? This verse repeats twice in the scriptures. This verse repeats in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam also. When Sudama comes with his chipped rice that he has brought some chipped rice that his wife has sent him. And when he sees Krishna's opulence, he feels, sometimes you go and try to gift your friend. Then you realize your friend is a millionaire and you've taken a $50 gift card from Woolies. You'll feel, how can I give him the $50 Woolies card, whereas he's a millionaire? You feel a bit shy to give that gift card and you're hiding it. No, let me try to give him something else, maybe some flowers. Flowers of $50 would sound nice rather than a gift card. Have you gone through this dilemma sometimes? A gift card from Woolies for a rich man, a flower bouquet will be good. So it's the same dilemma that Sudama goes through, and he's saying, how can I give him the chipped rice to this Supreme Lord who is the king of Dwarka? And he hides. It is then when Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Here, Krishna repeats Bhaktya Prayachati and Bhaktya Upahritam. 2 times he repeats Bhakti. Means anything that is offered, Krishna is not interested in the thing that is offered. Krishna is interested, it is not what is offered, it is how it is offered. That is what is important. Many times as devotees, when we have deities at home, this is a very important point. They put a bowl of kishmish, sugar crystals, as an offering to the Lord, and they will go and have pizzas in Greenzilla. So that's not good, because I have offered something very simple to the Lord, but I will go and have a big feast outside. So that is not what is called offered with bhakti. My dear Lord, for now you be happy with this sultanas while I go and enjoy my pizza somewhere else. So that is not what is called as bhakti. Bhakti means loving devotion, that I am offering with love to the Lord. What is love? That's why Krishna completes that verse from the next verse, Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat dadasi, yat. Whatever you eat, whatever you do, give it as an offering to me. It's not that for Krishna you will give something very simple and I will do some heavy enjoyment outside. Because I know I cannot offer that to Krishna, I cannot offer a bag of shop-bought chips to Krishna. But that's why offering him some sultanas, but I will enjoy the bag of chips. So you have to be careful. So then you don't eat the bag of chips if you can't offer it to Krishna. Then that is not love. That is not love at the highest stage. So that is what Krishna is saying. And here, Bali Maharaj has offered it with love. And that is what Brahmaji is indicating, that duplicity. As devotees, this is a very important trait, and Maharaj was explaining this. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, what is the opposite of duplicity for a Vaishnava? Simplicity. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Saralata, Saralata hi Vaishnava Chinnam. Means how do you identify a devotee or a Vaishnava? Saralata. Because in the material world, are people duplicitous or not? Are they duplicitous really? How? You'll be caught in the office if you're duplicitous, isn't it? How is that in the material world we are not duplicitous, or we are duplicitous? Because material world runs on duplicity, isn't it? But how? Because generally if you see, people are not duplicitous. They are good to their work, they are good to their family, etc. But in the scriptural terms, duplicity means a different definition altogether. Anyone who has an inclination to enjoy the senses and still wants to worship Krishna is duplicitous. This is the definition. His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj says, Are Baba, if you are still interested in enjoying your senses and you want to become a Krishna's devotee, you are duplicitous. This is duplicity. Duplicity means I am not completely Krishna conscious. I still want to do enjoyment with my senses. So this is being duplicitous. This is not puristic. Therefore, it has cheating mentality. I want to cheat a little bit here and there. I can cheat Krishna by giving some enjoyment to the senses. That is called duplicity. And that is what is suggested to be avoided. And here, Bali Maharaj is an epitome of example where he is offered without any duplicity. So that is the very important character we have to understand. In the Krishna Leela, Krishna kills many demons. And Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes in his Bhajan Rahasya and other books that each of these demons represents some anarthas. And there is a demon which represents duplicity. You know who that is? Take a guess. Who is the demon who represents duplicity in Krishna's Vraja Leela? Not Putana. It is Bakasura. Bakasura. Because Putana still had an inclination to feed the Lord. Somewhere there was an inclination. Bakasura represents duplicity. Why Bakasura represents duplicity? Because Bakasura was a stork. No? It was a stork. He had opened his mouth. His beak was touching the skies. It was a large stork. And he was standing as if he was meditating. It also represents irreligion or irreligious sadhus who fake religion. They are called as cheating sadhus. So all of this depicts duplicity in our bhakti. In our bhakti also, we have to be very careful of this practice of duplicity. So therefore, this baka demon, killing of that baka demon represents killing of duplicity in our practice of Krishna consciousness. So for killing duplicity, we have to endeavor to be honest in our dealings. That's what Maharaj also was mentioning this. One way to overcome duplicity is being honest in our dealings, honest in our habits, honest in our thought, word and deeds, our character and dealings with devotees. Be very transparent, be very honest and open about things. We don't want to conceal our shortcomings. So this is what comes about in these two these two verses. And today is an opportunity also to glorify a wonderful acharya in the Vaishnava lineage. Yesterday also was a glorious day because yesterday was Śrīpada Madhvacharya's disappearance day and today is Śrīpada Ramanujacharya's disappearance day. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, the only way to get rid of our anarthas, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha Krishna Preme Janme Tenho Puna Mukhya Anga. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula, the birthplace of Krishna Bhakti, the root of Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula, what is that? Haya Sadhu Sangha, association with exalted devotees. This is how we get Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Prema Janme Tenho Punha Mukhya Anga. Therefore, when we have association of pure devotees, then the love of Krishna consciousness or Krishna Prema awakens naturally, just by association. That is one of the ways to invoke Krishna consciousness in our hearts. And today is a wonderful day because by associating and glorifying great acharyas, we associate with them, with their teachings, with their behavior and their achara. Achara means their character, their behavior. Sripada Ramanuja is glorified in the verse Yo nityam achyuta padambhuja yugma rukma vyamohatas taditarani trinayam mene asmad guror bhagavato asya dayaika sindho Ramanujasya charanau sharanam prapadye. Ramanujacharya is glorified that one is captivated by the golden light. Ramanuja was captivated by the golden light that emanates from the toe nails of the Supreme Lord. We sing this in the morning when we enter the altar. He considered all as a worthless straw. Ramanujacharya dedicated his whole life surrendering to the Lord. He is a Ramanuja, our teacher, and a boundless sea of compassion. His feet are my refuge. So we Vaishnavas pray like this at the feet of Ramanujacharya. What is the connection between Ramanujacharya and our Sampradaya, Gaudiya Sampradaya? You see, from the days of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have always been impressed by the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Among the many places where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled and stayed, which was the longest place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed a long time for during his travels? Jagannath Puri, is it not? He stayed a long time in Jagannath Puri. And of course, Vrindavana and Navadvip. But apart from these three places, he also stayed the longest in Srirangam. He stayed for almost 4 to 6 months in Srirangam because he was so enamored by the loving devotion devotees had there. And Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya has given us our Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who comes from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. And Prabhupada also was enamored, and he mentions more than 100 times of two major works in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. What are they? Yamunacharya's shloka, Yadavadi Mama Chitta. This verse that Prabhupada repeats is from Yamunacharya's Stotra Ratnam. Stotra Ratnam means the pinnacle jewel of the stotras that is used to, the hymns that is used to glorify the Lord. And of course, very dear to Prabhupada was Mukundamala Stotra by Kulashekara Alvar. Kulashekara Alvar, I was surprised when I was researching, he was born 3,000 years ago. He was not a late king of the last Esther years. He was long time back. And Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, see, these Sampradayas have always existed. It is not that Ramanujacharya started Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started something called as Achinta Bheda Bheda. These are all existing at all times. It is just that the acharyas come and revoke that philosophy at that point in time. So Vedas are like a mountain. When you see a mountain, you can only see one perspective of a mountain. So when Sripada Shankaracharya saw it, he saw one perspective, that everything is one. Therefore he propounded his Advaita philosophy, and later it was concocted by Mayavada philosophy. And then Ramanujacharya saw it like this, and he saw another perspective of the Vedas. So the Vedas can be divided into 3 sections. The Shruti, Vedas are called Shruti, that which is heard. These Vedas have 3 perspectives. One is, it is called as Bheda Shruti, Abheda Shruti, and Ghataka Shruti. Bheda Shruti means one part of the Vedas which says, no, this is separate, this is separate. You are separate, God is separate. It talks about Bheda. Another perspective of the Vedas, it says, you and God are one. That is qualitative oneness. And in certain section of the Vedas, it talks of a combination of both. That is, you and both are one, but at the same time simultaneously. That is called Ghataka Shruti. And that is the foundation of Vishishtadvaita philosophy, which is called as Ghataka Shruti, which is which Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva came out of it, which is very similar. If you see Vishishtadvaita philosophy and Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, they are very, very similar. Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes in his writings that the temple of love that Chaitanya built, Lord Chaitanya built the temple of love, this is Krishna Prema, he built on the foundation of Ramanuja's philosophy of Vishishtadvaita. Ramanujacharya did not call his philosophy Vishishtadvaita, nor Shankara called his philosophy Advaita. These are all words given by his followers later. But Similarly, like Madhvacharya did not call his philosophy as Dvaita. It is Tattvavada, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refers in Chaitanya Charitamrita as Tattvavadis. So, Yamunacharya's work and Kulashekar Alva's work is always mentioned. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed a long time in Srirangam. It is said, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the Srirangam, temple of Srirangam, Srila Prabhupada always tells in the morning walks also that Srirangam is a very massive temple. It's almost like a city. And the Gopuram, the Gopuram that is built is visible from a long distance. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered this temple, usually in Srirangam, if you enter, even Tirupati, if you start climbing the hills of Tirumala, the 7 hills, always you will hear Veda Goshti. You'll hear that Veda Goshti always happening, about 10, 20 Brahmanas chanting the Vedas, chanting the Purusha Suktas. It's very, very purifying atmosphere, actually. And Srirangam also is such a place. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered, he was chanting the holy names of the Lord. And when the Yagnika Brahmanas, when the Vaishnava Brahmanas looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they stopped chanting their Vedic mantras because they were spellbound by the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They thought, who is this personality who is coming and walking towards the altar? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know, he's always in trance and ecstasy. So he was chanting the names of the Lord and he was coming to take the darshana of Ranganatha. And then he took the darshan of Ranganatha and like a log, he fell down. And that is when Venkata Bhatta takes him to his house and serves him. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually enters into Srirangam, in the arena of the Sri Vaishnavas. And then after that, Sri Vaishnavas, that is why it's a beautiful bandhavya of the Vaishnavas, actually. Ramanujacharya and all acharyas, they do not just preach philosophy. They have also made major changes in the society. Actually, we have to study them from a historical perspective as well, of how important they were, of how they brought a renaissance in the society, especially with the Brahminical patriarchy that was prevalent in those times due to Advaitins and the practices that were prevalent at that time. So Ramanujacharya's philosophy was not 1,000-year-old. It comes dating back to 3,000, 4,000 years old, starting from the first Alvar. They're called as Alvars. Alvars are preceptors that they had. Interestingly, all the 12 Alvars, none of them were Brahmanas. Vyasadeva himself is not a Brahmana, if you really see. He was a fisherwoman's son, if you see. So Brahminical patriarchy was removed by Vyasadeva, and so is with Ramanujacharya. In fact, all these acharyas have faced death threats because when Sripada Shankaracharya established philosophy early in the 7th century, it was ingrained by the time the 10th century when Ramanujacharya came. And any changes to the philosophy was seen as, punishable offense. And when Ramanuja said, no, it can be different. For example, Ramanujacharya initially was sent, and there is a very beautiful commonality between Ramanujacharya and Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was not sent to an ancient Gurukul. Where did Prabhupada study? He went to Scottish church. He went to study from the British. He was studying under the British. And Ramanuja was studying under a Mayavadi teacher, Yadava Prakasha. His parents sent him to one Mayavadi teacher. And in that class, Mayavadi, the Yadav Prakasha is teaching a shloka. Kapyasam Pundarikaksham. There is a shloka in the Vedas. Kapyasam Pundarikaksham. And Yadav Prakasha is reading Advaita commentary. Kapyasam means, it is literally translated as Kapi Asam. Kapi means monkey. Asam means ass. That's what ass comes from the word asam. Means Pundarikaksham. Pundarikaksham means the lotus-eyed Lord. The eyes of the Lord is compared to the back of a monkey. And the Acharya was glorifying like this. The lotus eye of the Lord, Pundarikaksham, is glorified. Hare Krishna. Careful. Can someone put a carpet? She doesn't tread on it. That's okay. So, immediately Ramanujacharya rejects it. He says, Acharya, I have an objection for this. Pundarikaksham is the most beautiful eyes that anybody can even comprehend in this material world. How can you compare it to such a silly thing of Kapi Asam? Kapi Asam means, then the Acharya says, oh, so you know everything? You are a student. How come you are so impudent in the class? Ramanujacharya says it could also be translated like this, and he compares Kapiyasam to the morning reddish, because it's reddish in color, the morning sunshine, when the sun is about to rise, the horizon of the sky becomes reddish hue, and the eyes of the Lord are having reddish hue like the morning sunshine. So he compares it like that, and the Sanskrit can also be translated like that. So Yadav Prakasha was shocked. A little boy in my class is explaining a different explanation, but he still rejects it. He says, we just have to follow the acharyas. We cannot have alternative explanations, etc., etc., etc. So this is what the rejection he was facing from the 10th century onwards, because it was very ingrained, and nobody were ready to understand the deeper tenets and of the scriptures. And therefore, even though he wanted to bring a revolution, he faced many threats. He faced death threats, actually. There was a Chola king who was a Shaivite, so they tried to kill him. So that is when he runs away from Srirangam to Melkote, which is in Karnataka, and there he had to live with the tribals. And Melkote is a place in Karnataka. It's a very hilly place, if you see. We had the opportunity to visit 2 years back. It's a very hilly place. And the people there, although it was fertile, they did not know how to cultivate because they were tribals. So Ramanujacharya actually picks up an axe and then a shovel and starts picking up the sand and tries to demonstrate how you should start farming, how to conserve water. So he was not just an acharya giving classes, but he was demonstrating how to live a simple life. And coming back to Srila Prabhupada established so many farming community, and he taught us how to live closer to the nature. So many similarities we see between Sripada Ramanujacharya and Srila Prabhupada. Sripada Ramanujacharya established his glorious works that he has written, about 9 works which are very famous, especially the commentary on the Brahma Sutras, the Gita Bhashya that he has written is an amazing commentary on the Upanishads. Why is it again so close to our Sampradaya? There are 2 important things that our Sampradaya has taken from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. The process of initiation. When we get Harinam Diksha, it is called by the Sri Vaishnavas as Pancha Samskaram. Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes it in his book. The Pancha Samskara means there are 5 things that we are given during the initiation. You know what they are? There is a shloka which says in the Pancharatrika Vidhi, Tapah Poundram Tatha Nama Mantro Yagascha Panchama Amihi Pancha Samskaraha Paramai Kanti Hetavaha. There are Pancha, 5 things that are given during initiation. What are they? That is Tapaha, Poundram, Nama, Mantra and Yaga. There are 5 things that are given. What is that Tapa? Tapa in one sense is translated as the neck beads. You know, we wear a neck bead. That is the first one. Poundram, Urdha Pundra, which is the tilak that we wear in the 12 places. Third is Nama. We are given a second name. We are initiated with a name. And then the 4th is Mantra. We are given the holy name. And the 5th is Yaga. Yaga means deity worship or the fire sacrifice that is done during the initiation ceremony. So this Pancha Samskara process of initiation was adopted from the Sri Vaishnava practice. The second thing, it is interesting, although we say we are Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, it is just information only. Madhva Sannyasis, if you see, they are Ekadanda Sannyasis. And so is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are all Ekadandi Sannyasis. They don't even wear shikha. They will have a fully shaved head. They will not even wear a Brahmin thread. Madhva Sannyasis don't do that. They don't chant Gayatri after they take sannyas. And they are Ekadandi Sannyasis. And so was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he took it from Keshava Bharati, if you see. He was an Ekadandi Sannyasi. During the time of re-establishment of Sannyasa Dharma by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he established and adopted the Tridandi Sannyasi with whatever is ordained in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Therefore, we have Tridandi Sannyasi system. So it's an amazing thing. And Sripada Ramanujacharya took sannyas directly from Varadaraj Perumal. From the Lord himself he takes sannyas. Because Varadaraj Perumal comes as a spiritual master. So Ramanujacharya had 5 gurus. One of them is Yamunacharya and one of them is the Lord himself, Varadaraj. From him he takes sannyas. Now take Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he takes sannyas from the photo of his spiritual master. So a lot of similarities with the Sampradaya. So Prabhupada has taken the teachings of Kulashekara Alvar, which comes in the Sri Vaishnava lineage, and the teachings of Ramanuja Sampradaya, although he was rejecting the philosophy of Mayavada, he rejected in a very sweet way. Those days, debates used to happen from an intellectual platform. But after the debate, they used to very nicely live a social life. A Mayavadi and a Vaishnava used to sit together and have prasadam. They used to have and laugh about it. But when the debate happens, they used to fiercely debate. That was only a philosophical debate. But after the debate is finished, they used to live like friends. So the debate had no impact on a social living. So that was a very significant, and Ramanujacharya was known for this. There was no inimical attitude towards the Mayavadis. So this is, and then he taught loving devotion to the Lord. Ramanujacharya Sampradaya taught us this, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very attracted with. So therefore today is a very wonderful opportunity to remember and hear about Ramanujacharya's glorious deeds and his teachings, and then see the commonality between our teachings and how our acharyas adopted the teachings of the alvars in our sampradaya. And Prabhupada mentions the teachings of these alvars in many places, especially Kulashekar Alvar's prayers, that Mukundamala Stotra, that Prabhupada eulogizes many times. So I will stop here. Thank you very much for eagerly lending an ear for Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Are there any questions or comments before we can end the session? Or realizations or recollections if somebody wants to share? If not, we'll stop here. Yes, Mataji. Duplicity, yes.
At the same time, we shouldn't. Thank you. When you spoke about duplicity, you said we shouldn't have desire for sense enjoyment, and at the same time try to serve the Lord. We shouldn't have that duplicity. Also, you mentioned about honesty. So, but what if honesty also means that we have although we have some material desire, we want to be honest in front of the Lord. So is it also considered as duplicity? Hope it makes sense.
So if I want to understand, I'll repeat the question. You're saying, is it okay to be honest about our shortcomings in front of the Lord? Is that your question?
Yeah, shortcoming in terms of our material desire.
Yeah.
So is it also considered as a duplicity? Because you also want to be honest of your material desire.
Yes.
So
no, because and that is the requirement. That is what the acharyas say. This is with my little understanding. I am no connoisseur of these exalted topics, but this is just my theoretical understanding. That to be honest means to be honest of our fallen position. And we have to be honest with the Lord that yes, I am fallen and I have these shortcomings in me. I have these material desires in me. And therefore, my dear Lord, I surrender unto you and I submit my shortcomings to you. So that is also submission. Bhakti upahritam. What am I offering? I'm offering my shortcomings to you, my Lord. Make sense? Rather than hiding my shortcomings, I'm offering my shortcomings to you, my Lord. These are the shortcomings I can offer. I have these shortcomings. This is only what I can offer you. I don't have bhakti. I have shortcomings only. And therefore I can offer you my shortcomings, my Lord. Please accept these shortcomings and purify me. So yeah, we can offer, and that is honesty. Honesty means to be transparent with the Lord. And whom else will be transparent with. So we can be honest with the Lord that I have these shortcomings and pray to the Lord that please get rid of my shortcomings. And these are my shortcomings. And it's good to be honest about our shortcomings with the Lord. That's my understanding, Mataji.
So if you transfer your shortcoming to the Lord,
yes.
It doesn't.
When I say transfer, present to the Lord that these are my shortcomings. Not that the Lord doesn't know about it, but I present to you that these are my shortcomings. So what happens by that? I admit my shortcomings. By admitting my shortcomings, I'm being honest about it in front of the Lord. And I feel sad and guilty about my shortcomings that I'm so bound with my senses. So purification, just by presenting it to the Lord, purification begins by admitting my shortcomings. So this is a process of prayer because In the Mukundamala Stotra itself, Kulashekara Alvar himself prays, Bhava Jaladim Agadham Dustaram Nistareyam Kathamahamiti Cheto Masmagah Kataratvam Sarasi Jadrishi Deve Taraki Bhakti Reka Naraka Bhidini Shanna Tarayishyatyavashyam. He says, this world is very difficult, my Lord, to overcome. I don't have any strength. I don't have any strength on my own. So please help me, my dear Lord. I'm very fallen. So it's okay. Our acharyas pray like that. So when we pray, we are offering our shortcomings to the Lord. And that is a very honest dealing with the Lord, I feel, rather than thinking or exhibiting I'm a very exalted personality in front of the Lord. Or imitating, as Maharaj was saying, imitation is good as long as the endeavor to purify ourselves is there. But just imitation without the desire to reach to a particular position of purity is not good. You know, fake it till you make it. Maharaj was explaining that a few yesterday or day before yesterday in the class. So opening up with the Lord about our shortcomings is actually good. That's what we can present. And that's what we have. We don't have bhakti, we have shortcomings. So present it to the Lord. And the Lord will accept it. Because you're offering that shortcomings with bhakti, that you're opening up with the Lord, being transparent with the Lord.
But if you hide it, that's duplicity. That's
Yeah, that is duplicity. Okay. If I hide it from the Lord, that is duplicity.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Gaur